Good afternoon. This is John Harder with another episode of a free broadcast for uh, spreading the wealth of TBC and free energy. My headline or title for this episode is Relax and Be Confident. Your subconscious mind is never in a hurry. Relax and be confident. Your subconscious mind is never in a hurry. The scriptures tell us that today, if you hear his voice, harden not your heart, as in the day of provocation. Today is your day of salvation. Today. This day is this scripture fulfilled in your ears. This day is this scripture fulfilled in your ears. Relax and be confident. Your subconscious mind is never in a hurry. When you are tense and anxious, your subconscious mind will pay no attention to you in a tough situation. You know, we need to remember that that matter is the lowest degree of spirit, and spirit is the highest degree of matter. All matter comes from the spirit. All matter comes from the spirit. We are in a constant state of evolution. Now, for those who have the idea that you have to, you have to somehow you have to be at the right place at the right time, and that for you this has never ever worked. Well, I'd like to just encourage you by telling you that you have always been at the right place at the right time. You see, if you would tell your subconscious that you're always in the wrong place at the wrong time, you are creating all of the situations where you're going to be at the time that you are going to consider to be the wrong time. So the right place at the right time, if you are convinced that that is how it is for you, that you are always at the right place at the right time, it will be quite amazing how many synchronicities you're going to run into you know, so-called coincidences that will put you at a tough, no, that's not tough, in a situation where you're going to you know, marvel as to how could have this turned out so perfectly. Well, remember that remember what our title says, you know, relax and be confident. Your subconscious mind is never in a hurry. Far too often, when we are okay, let's say there is something that we really want. I'm going to use, for an example, I'm going to use an ICO. There's been so many ICOs these days, and you know, you like to get some coin of this and of that coin, and then but then, you know, you kind of forgot, or you were too busy, or whatever. And because there's so many of them, you kind of just, after you, all of a sudden you get back to it and you realize, well, I meant to get some, but I kind of forgot about it. Well, now let's just say it this way. If you really wanted some of that coin, and you say to yourself, well, I have to, you know, I have to move some money first, I have to do this and that, and so I really want it, and you start with positioning yourself with your money or whatever it is you need to do, and you run into some difficulties, and you have a very short time left. You're up against a time limit, and you're starting to get frustrated because you are thinking that you're not going to meet that time. You know, you're not going to, you're going to miss out on it. The what happens here is, in a situation like that, is that you are creating a polarity. You're creating a polarity which is only going to perpetuate, and that is because your subconscious never pays attention to you when you're in a tough situation. If you are tense and anxious, if you are in a hurry because of some sort of deadline, and you get all tense and anxious about it, you won't get any help from your subconscious to make it work. But if you're relaxed and confident, and let's say you wanted let's say you had your eye on a specific ICO, and you wanted it, but it didn't work out for you, and you weren't you know, you weren't all tense and anxious or anything about it, but it just didn't work out for you. Well, see, here's the consolation to that, is that it didn't work out for you because there is something better than that. There's something better. Now, how was it? Napoleon Hill. Now, I am not a huge fan of Napoleon Hill. I know his material. It's quite a bit. I have read of it. I have been watching videos and of his materials, and like, I'm not here to say that there's anything wrong with him or anything like that, but I am more of a person who believes in the benefit of all. I'm more a person who believes that I wish for everyone what I wish for myself, and that is that is not very much in his teachings. Doesn't show up very much. It's more, he has more the idea of you know, keeping it secret, and don't let, you know, don't let others know because they're gonna get in ahead of you and stuff like that. Well, that is never going to happen. Now, that doesn't mean that I think as soon as you have an idea that you go and blab about it to everybody and what you're gonna do, because well, I mean, of course that can vary on what it is you're doing. Huh? Who? I don't know what he means. Well, Pedro, I am not referring to any person. I am only talking about how the subconscious works. So I'm not I have no idea what, if you're thinking that I'm referring to any situation, I'm not. I have no idea. I'm only saying how it works, that's all. Okay, so so that is what, you know, myself, I've been in a situation like that many times. I'd get very frustrated because I missed out on something. And doing that, you are missing out on the benefit of that incident. Let's just what I mean by that is that every coin has two sides to it. If you miss out on something, that only means one thing. That means there's profits to be made on the opposite side of it. Pardon? Or something better is coming up. That's, yeah, something better. That's what that means. Well, that is the opposite side, right? So so that's where we can always be confident in, and don't have to we don't ever really have to worry about missing out on something, right? So now TBC, when I came across TBC, it was interesting because I wasn't, you know, I was just looking for something nice. I was just looking for something that that would that was better than what I was doing, which I can look back and at Dash, because I had sold my Dash, and therefore you know, I'm looking for something to put some of that money into, and which I ended up being TBC, which is the best thing I could have done. But as soon as I had spent that money and had all my Dash sold, and then spent that money on something else, you know, Dash started going up, and I thought, yeah, whatever, it'll just go up a bit and whatever, and it went up. It you know, had I hung on to it, I'd have it would be over $100,000 now. That's how much it has gone up since then. So did I really lose out? Well, let's see here. I used about half of it of what I had left, what I sold my Dash for. I used about half to buy TBC, and that has given me hundreds of millions as opposed to a bit over 100,000. So I would say that it's a pretty darn good deal. I was at the right time. I was at the right place at the right time without actually even knowing it at the time. The point that I'm trying to get us to understand is that we and you know, basically I would have to say that I'm saying this because this is what I'm drilling into myself, that getting tense and anxious does not help, and that I have tried it very often and it has never worked. I have also sometimes, actually lately quite often so, where I was confident, I was poised, and you know what? The things fall in place. Wonderful things happen because of being confident and being you know, at ease about it. Your subconscious mind can put things in place for you, but not when you're scared and tense and anxious and all that kind of stuff. It doesn't, it does not register, because what happens is the vibrations that you're putting out is they're confused. It's a confused vortex that you have, and so the vibrations are not able to bring back anything positive. So that's why it's always important not to dwell on the problem, but rather forget about the problem and look for a solution, right? And really, like, sometimes it, or at least it used to be for me, it was difficult for me to how can I look for a solution without seeing the problem? Well, you know, at first maybe it's a little difficult to distinguish the difference between, you know, looking at it as a problem versus thinking of it as an opportunity. It's really the same thing, but the one side of it is the problem, the other side of it is an opportunity. So that's what I'd like for us to understand. Now, on our blog, we have some wonderful information on our blog that has come out the last couple of days, actually, as it usually does, or always does. Sometimes there isn't updates for a day or two, but we have some great things there. Now the leads are coming out, which is a wonderful thing. We have been looking forward to that, or at least I have been. And now all of a sudden they're here, and surprise, I am actually not quite set up for it. So, but I will begin to work with them as whatever means I have, and in the meantime, I want to look after that in a way that you know, that I can do it without, you know, well, what I'm trying to say is create a program that I will have for anything that I want to do in that regard, like for marketing, which actually I years ago I had it and I didn't see the value in it. I didn't know how to use it, you know. It was kind of like I was mentioning in one of my hangouts recently, where I got all dressed up and made a nice background behind me and everything, and then I'd get in front of the camera and then have no idea what to say. Well, that's basically how that went for me, because you know, I ordered this autoresponder system, and now I have a nice autoresponder and this and that. Now I'm really going to make money, but I had no idea what to say in those emails. So since then, of course, I have really learned a lot. And when I looked at the email that admin put out, I read over it and I thought, you know, I couldn't think of anything that I would change. I think that's very, very well worded. So so it's I think that's a great email to use as a template. And of course, for those for people who have a lot of experience and find it to be you know, find to make changes, I believe that email is only a template. It's not there to you know, it's not copyrighted material that you aren't allowed to change anything, but it is in my opinion very well written. Okay. And so it is written, I mean, what he is suggesting in the article is that we have an opt-out link in the bottom of the email, and that would that is what you got to have in autoresponders, which I have one, and I'm going to begin using it. I am not very sure that that autoresponder works very good, but I will obviously, I'm going to you know, do my best to see how it works, see how well it delivers. So I guess we'll find out about that part. Yeah. So again, as far as TBC, if you are new with TBC and you want to know more about TBC, visit blog.thebillioncoin.info, and you will find very much material why TBC was made, what's in its mission statement is, what its intention is, why is TBC different from all other cryptocurrencies, and much more. You know, what are we accomplishing with TBC? Is it solving a specific problem? Is that what TBC is to do? Or is it just, you know, to get rich quick? Is that what it is for? You know, there's all kinds of questions that people might ask themselves, and or ask others, whatever. So what I'm saying is there's very good education available to you. Also, feel free to contact me if you have questions about it. That's something you don't understand, or you just want to know how it's doing for me, or anything like that. I'm very happy to work with you and help you through your migration, get you set up with more TBC, whatever it is that you want. All right, so that is the TBC side. Now I'm going to talk about the free energy unit. As I have the website in the description as well, which is myfree.energy, where you can find out what that is about. And I have it is set up to be able to, at this point, you can either donate. Well, I'm saying donate, but it really wouldn't actually be a donation, as it were, because I'm actually replacing 100% of it with TBC. So let's say if you send me $200 worth towards the project, well, I would be sending you $200 worth of TBC to your TBC wallet. Okay. So that is how we're doing that. And if the information on there isn't, I haven't actually updated the information. I will be doing that today yet. And again, what are the units for? They are for creating clean, free energy. And these units they produce about 15 kilowatt of electricity, which is more than any normal household would need. 15 kilowatt is plenty to have a small, you know, to have a small shop and still power the house and still have plenty. That's 15 kilowatt is actually a fair bit of power, right? So so that's about what they'll do. And what's next is that they are small, compact units. They run quiet. It's very clean. There is no wearing parts on them. So, and they run with magnets. It's just an amazing unit. It really is. So and if you want to understand better why I got so passionate about it, then educate yourself on about smart meters, what they are. You know, why they were even installed, right? Things like that. So because they are dangerous, they cause cancer. They have microwave pulses that they send out, and those pulses, they go right through your body. So whenever you walk past one of those, you'll get zapped, or not. I'm saying zapped. Zapped you'd probably feel, but microwave pulses you don't feel. And what those pulses do, because your body is actually electronically operated. It all operates with electronic frequencies. Your sounds, everything you hear, everything you taste, everything you see, everything that how your body functions is through electronic pulses. Isn't that amazing? And the thing is that that the brain, which is actually a switching station, basically, and that's where all the electronic pulses all register to your brain, and then of course go out throughout the body, and all of that is controlled by your mind, which is actually the vortex outside of you, in you too, but around you is the same vibration. Isn't only inside of you, but it's also outside of you. When you walk through a doorway, your mind would actually not nearly fit through that doorway. So the mind is not just inside of us, but it's much more than that. I very recently watched a video where a person had the experience that he had died. He actually died, but he was revived by now what's it called, PCR, or what's it called? No. When a person who, huh? CPR, right? I forgot. I've had that course I don't know how many times, and I forgot the arrangement of the letters. Yeah, he was rescued by CPR, and he explained how he was watching them work on him. He was watching those people work on him to bring him back. But he said what was really, really amazing. He said the grass was transparent. He could see right through it. He said it was ever so like intense, the clear vision, that the grass was completely clear the way it is, but not only that, he could also see right through it. And he said the amazing thing is that you can feel colors. You could feel colors. And he said that was very, very high intensity. And now, and some call that the fourth dimension. We are actually four-dimensional beings. So the 3D dimension is the body, but the fourth dimension is the spirit. And now, sometimes people say, well, are you out of your mind? Well, there's no possible way a person can be out of their mind and still breathe. Because if a person, the minute you're out of your mind, your body would not function. That it is, every part of it is controlled by the mind. So so if anybody asks you if you're out of your mind, you can confidently tell them no, you're not out of your mind. Okay, so anyway, again, just just a couple of tips there from my studies and my understanding. So I hope that makes sense to you. Anyway, for those who are in TBC and have kind of walked away from it, you know, because of the technical problems and so on, let me just invite you right now. You know, don't hold that against us and lose out on, first of all, the you know, the riches that you're already sitting on. You know, if you had that 50,000 Kringle gift, which many at the time would have had, some maybe even from that have the 100,000, that is a lot of money. It's a lot of money right now already. Like it was reduced to 25,000 later, and that's already what is it, $3,000? It's around $3,000 already too, I believe, actually over. And now if you don't come back and come aboard before the migration is completed and the old blockchain is shut down, all I can tell you is this, that you are losing those profits that you now have. That wealth that you now are sitting on, you're going to be losing it if you don't come back and come aboard, because when the new blockchain is when the migration is complete and you are still on the old blockchain, the blockchain will be shut down and the coins will be gone. So especially, like, I mean, even if you had the 25,000, that's over $3,000 now. It's amazing. And by the time we are our coin is at its full price, that will be like $700,000. It's just makes sense. It makes sense that you would come back and simply, I would say, just simply forgive us for not having a robust enough system, and come back and claim your wealth and move on. Use it, because it becomes more every day, right? So so if you would like help or you have questions or anything like that, I have links below. You can certainly avail yourself of information there. Also, I invite you to contact me, and I'll be very happy to help you through whatever it is you need with TBC. And also, maybe you wanna be in on that energy project. Many people need that energy. Matter of fact, almost everybody in the world does, right? So those are my few words of encouragement for this afternoon. I appreciate all of you guys being here. Who's all here? All right, Crypto Review. Thanks for hanging out with me again, Pedro. Second time today. Appreciate it. Marjorie Harder, thank you for being, coming on board. Dolzan, thank you also very much. Diana, thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. And so those are my words of encouragement, and hopefully that works for you. I better get on and do some other things that I need to get done. So thank you ever so much for hanging out with me, and we'll see you later. Huh? Yeah, I believe so, Pedro. Okay, so we'll see ya. Peace. And now I'm not even ready to shut down. There we go.